Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another interesting video. Today we're going to do SQL analysis using BigQuery on Vande Bharat data. There are a lot of Vande Bharat trains in India, so we managed to scrape the data, right? There are like about 108 Vande Bharat trains. I'm not sure if this is the complete list, but definitely majority of the list. And in this data, as you see, we have like a few columns, like for example, forward direction, what is the train number, name of the train, the type of the train, the zone it operates in, their start and end date. Sometimes some trains are run only for special periods, so that'll have a start and end date, the source, starting station, the departure time, the destination, then the arrival time, what is the duration of the train, how many stops or halts it has, departure days, right? So which are the days it operates, distance, the speed, and then of course I guess the return train. If you notice, return train 22416 is one number after, right? So 22415 is Varanasi to New Delhi, 22416 will be New Delhi to Varanasi, simply the reverse direction. We're going to try and answer some questions. Let's get started, right? How many distinct zones exist for Vande Bharat trains? So I can simply do a direct distinct zone. I think this should work. Let me run the query and see, and I guess we get 15 zones, right? North zone, southwest, west zone, central zone, and so on, right? Vande Bharat trains do operate on 15 different zones. Next questions: are there any trains that operate only one way? Normal logic in Indian Railways, usually each train which goes will obviously come back. So let's see what column we can use to actually solve this question. So there's something called return, right? So if a train doesn't have a return route, it's only one way, return column should be null. So we can try and put where return is null, right? So let me run this query and it displays no results. This obviously means each train also operates in the return direction, which makes sense. So there's like literally no train that operates only one way. Then let's find the fastest train and also the longest distance covered by these Vande Bharat trains. Let's see. Quite straightforward question. So let's go back to the data and see. First of all, we'll look at the fastest, right? So keep in mind that the speed column is actually a string because there is also kilometer per hour text. But since the number come in the beginning, I think if you do an order by, it should still work, right? So to find the fastest train, I can put order by speed descending. Since the numbers come in the beginning, I think the highest number will be reported on the top. And we notice, yes, the fastest train 22436 and 435, right? The forward and the return trains operates the fastest, 95 km per hour, and it's actually the Varanasi New Delhi Vande Bharat Express, right? That seems to be the fastest. There's a train which is 94 km per hour, which operates again Varanasi Vande Bharat, just a different train, 22415 and 22416. These seem to be the fastest trains. Longest distance. So I think there was a column called distance. So I can just do this like order by distance. Again, there's kilometer, it's a text, but there's the number at the beginning. So this should still work, right? Let's see which is one of the longest distance. And funnily, it's also the Varanasi New Delhi train, right? It's operating like 759 kilometers. Then you also have something like 724 kilometer per hour. I mean, total distance, Chennai Egmore, down in the south till Nagarkoil, almost up to Kanyakumari. That seems to be the second longest train, right? If we go further down, we can also find at the end, the train that's the shortest, 302 kilometer, Anand Vihar terminal, I think it's in Delhi, to Dehradun, right? This seems to be the shortest distance, 302 kilometers, right? So we were able to find the longest train, shortest train, the train with the fastest speed, right? I think that's the average speed of the train. So we have done these three questions. So up and down speed different, right? What does this mean? Normally, if I go back to the data, right? If we have a quick look at it, this is going to be a slightly complicated question, but let's do it step by step, right? So normally the up and down trains, right? 22416, 415, the speed should be the same, right? Assuming distance is the same. But if you notice, there could be cases where this might differ a bit, right? So you see these two trains, there's a 2 kilometer difference. So you see the speed is also 1 km per hour different, 22224 and 22223. So it's the Mumbai to Shiradi and then Shiradi to Mumbai train. So upward and onward and downward have subtle difference in distance or subtle difference in speed. We want to find which are the trains up and down speed is different, right? So how do we approach this question? It's going to be a bit complicated, the query, but let's do it step by step, right? So first I'm going to start with the onward trains number, right? I'm going to take the forward number. I'm going to take the speed. Okay, and I'm also going to find out the value for the forward journey, like divided by 2, right, to see if it's an odd or an even number, because I feel like that can actually help us find and compare the forward and return journeys speeds. So I'm going to do forward by 2, right, as just a step number 1. So we're getting a 22415 speed and by 2 number, 22416 by 2 number, right. Now if we want to segment the forward and return journeys as like separate categories, what we can do is we can kind of convert these numbers into an integer and then compare if they're actually the same as the forward number divided by 2, right. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to add another column, right. I'm going to convert this. So I'm going to say cost of forward divided by 2, right. So which will give us this number, and I'm going to make it an integer, right, as a fourth column, right. Now let's run this and see what is the difference. So now if you notice, wherever it's an odd number, right, wherever it probably happens to be the forward train, this number and this number are different. Whereas when it's an even number, this number and this number are the same, right. Of course there's a decimal, but they are the same, right. So now if we can add another column and just compare these, right. So we can say case when this number, right, forward divided by 2 happens to be equal to this number, okay, then we can call this obviously even number trains, right. Else I will call it odd, which makes sense. I'll say n dash, you can give it a name, maybe I give it category, right. So this is the first baby step towards solving. So you see this train is an odd number train, this is an even number train because they're equal, right. We got the same everywhere, right. Now what we can try and do, since we have segmented these two, we can now try to find the previous values of the even number trains, right. So for 2 to 4 to 6, 75, previous value will be 75, and then compare if they are equal. If they are equal, then no problem, up and down speed is the same, otherwise there's a problem. So how can we proceed, right. So we can now put this in a with CT. So I can say with step 1, right. You can give any name, just say name or something that you can understand. I'm putting this in a with class. Now inside that table, right, the new table, I again want to select forward, okay. Then what else I want to do, I want to select the speed, right, and then I want to select the previous value only when it happens to be an even train. So for this, what I'm going to do, again I'm going to bring a case statement. So I can say case when this category column, right, happens to be odd, right, I will leave it as blank, right, I don't want the previous value. Otherwise, right, when it's even, I can put else, I want to show the lag of the previous speed, lag of the speed, so that's lag speed over, I think we don't need to do any partition here, right, so we can simply say order by train number, right, which is obviously we can say order by forward, okay. I'm putting this in here and give it a name, n dash previous speed from step 1, right, that was the name of the table. Let's see if this works. Okay, it's not nulls, it should be null, okay. And also in the end order by that number, so we see the trains in like consecutive numbers, so order by forward, okay. Now we notice, okay, 6001 speed is there, so null, right, any odd number train we don't need previous speed. For the even number train, speed is 69, and now we compare this with the forward destination, right. So because 6001 and 6002 ideally operate on the same route, only in forward and reverse direction, here it's 69, previous value for this is 66, 6057 and 58 81, previous value is 81, so here it's the same. 6067 and 68, again you see it's 84 one direction, 82 in the other, right, there is a difference. Now what we can simply do, we can put a condition where this speed does not equal the previous speed, right, those are the trains where the speed is different. So for this I can put this whole thing into a second CTE with final step as open the bracket and close the bracket, right? So I can say select everything from final step where the speed does not equal, we can use not equal to previous speed, right? Put this correct spelling. Now we'll be able to spot those trains, right? There are a good number of trains. So as you see, 6002 69 km/h. The other train 6001 is 66, 6068 is 84, 6067 was 82, and so on, right? So essentially, we see about 28 trains and their pairs that have a speed difference, right? 22226 was 70, 2225 was 69. Maybe we can check one of them, but these are the trains. As you see, this is the full query, just showing you, just dragging it a bit down, where the up and down trains have different speed, right? So maybe we can just see one of the trains, just to have a quick look. Select everything from the table. I think I have two froms, and I'm going to select let's say 6002, right? So because that was train that had a different speed than its counterpart. Okay, Bangalore Canton. So I'll probably put in these two numbers, 6001, right? Let's see if this works. Okay, so Ernakulam, Bangalore, Bangalore, Ernakulam, and let's see the speed, 66 and 69. There's a 3 km/h difference, although the distance is the same here, right? So Ernakulam Bangalore train is 66 km, but Bangalore Ernakulam return is 69 km/h, a bit faster, right? So this is one example, but as you see, I think we can get the answer through this query, right? So these are the trains where up and down speeds are a bit different, right? There could be approaches other than this, but just wanted to practice lag and width clause, right? Then one final question: how many days each train operates? You want to count this. So if I come back to here, right? So maybe I'll just delete this. I can select everything and remove the brackets. Again, this is a question that you can try out yourself. If there are alternate approaches, welcome to let me know. But we need to find this column dep days, which is string. We need to find how many days it operates, right? So if it doesn't operate, there looks to be like a blank. So what can we do here? So I've already used Gemini and come up with a formula here that can help us to find the number of days it operates. Feel free to tell me other approaches as well. What this is doing is it's replacing anything that's not a A to Z, right, capital or small, with like empty string, right? So now when I run this, for example, the first row, I see it operates on 6 days. There's one blank, so it shows 6 days, right? So the train operates on 6 days, and you see in this mostly every train operates on 6 days, more or less, right? Maybe it's missing one day, but as we scroll through, we find out some trains like here it's only 3. Why is it 3? 6057 it's the return, and why is this 3? It operates only on, I guess, 3 days, right? Like probably Sunday, Friday, Saturday. This operates on 4 days, right? And we are able to get that number here, right? 4. So we are removing the blanks whichever day it's not operating using regex replace. Anything that's not a A to Z or a capital A to Z, we replace it with empty string. So we count all the non-blanks, right? So this is how you can do, okay, number of days count. Feel free to use other approach, but this is quite straightforward. Gemini and ChatGPT gave me in the first go. I hope you enjoyed the video. I will definitely attach the data set in the description. See you again in another video. Till then, take care. Add this to your portfolio project.